All right, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Ericson Presents Mixing Tutorials. It's been a while, I know, but we're going to pretend like it hasn't been. All right, so today I actually want to talk about these iLouds, the MTMs. These are some very, very great monitors. These focals are focals. They're amazing. However, I believe that the way my room is set up, that I'm just too close to the focals. They sound better when I sit back. So they just need a little more room to breathe. But I was having problems with getting my mixes to translate the way I wanted it to, because a lot of my mixing, I'm sitting up close and I'm utilizing the board. So in order for me to be able to mix closer, I felt like I needed to search for a smaller monitor. So in order for me to get my mixes to translate better, because I do a lot of my mixing, closer to the board, I needed a monitor that I could actually use that was actually smaller. That's what I felt. I felt I needed a smaller monitor that would actually give me the accuracy that I needed. And then when I want to check on the big boys, I do that. Now, I feel like if my room was bigger and I was able to be in this position and then push the speakers back some, then I feel like the focals would definitely be perfect. I still have all of my monitors. Eventually, I probably will move the studio into a bigger location, and in doing so, having all of those monitors, because every monitor that I have has its purpose, from the mix cubes to the CLA 10s, the focals, the MTMs, the iLouds, and then I do have my Atom T7V still. So yeah, once I get a place where I can utilize more space, then I'll probably be able to hook all of those up. But for now, all we have is the focals and the MTMs. So I've already done a review on the focals. So yeah, but the MTMs, oh my goodness. The dopest part about these MTMs is not having to use Sonarworks, which in my opinion is great, because you have this microphone right here. And if you've seen other videos, then you already know what the microphone does. But if you haven't, each speaker comes with one of those microphones to calibrate the speaker. So all you simply do is plug the microphone into the back of the speaker and set the microphone where your listening location is. And then you press one button, takes about 5 seconds, it calibrates, and it shifts the frequency range of the speakers somehow. I don't know what they're doing. I feel like if Focal did that, I feel like if every speaker did that, honestly, every single speaker should be able to do that, so that you can adjust to each room. I think that would be better, because when I'm using speakers that I have multiple settings on, multiple corrections on with the Sonarworks, when I switch from speaker to speaker, I also have to change the setting of the Sonarworks to the speaker that I'm using. So it's just more of a process. It's not like a quick simultaneous switch. But having these iLouds, it's great. And it also helps when I'm using my sub pack, because also with the sub pack, if you have the Sonarworks and you have the correction on through the focals, the sub pack there's a correction on the sub pack as well. So that's not going to be accurate. But when I can utilize the MTMs with the correction inside the speaker, that means I don't have any correction on my board, or in my DAW. So the bass that's coming out into my sub pack is 100% accurate. So that is dope as well. What I noticed about these monitors is, for their size, they sound big. they sound huge. They have a nice low end that was actually shocking when I heard it, because there has been times where I've been working on the MTMs and I forget that I'm not working on the folk house, because that's how big of a sound that they give. I don't know how they do it. I don't know what they're putting into their technology, but it really sounds good. It goes down to 40 Hertz. I could tell the difference when I was at 50 and then I put it to 40. That was before I did the calibration. And I definitely could tell the difference at lower volumes. I'm a low volume mixer, so having these they're perfect. I would say, and I'm being 100% honest, I would say that if you are starting out and you don't know what monitor to get your mixes to translate well, I would say get these MTMs. And the reason why is because of the calibration. It's gonna calibrate to your room. That's what you want it to do, because trying to figure out how to make sure that your room is treated perfectly as a beginner is gonna be hard. Yeah, I mean, I have these sound panels that I made. They do help, but I do need more in this room. Definitely, I would say, save up your ducks and get it. Just bypass all the other speakers, bypass all the other monitors that you see, and go get these. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. You will get these and you will start mixing, and then people will think that you're a great mixer. And I mean, the key is, a lot of people, when they mix until it sounds good to them. The only problem is, if your room is tricking you on what sounds good, it's gonna sound good to you in your room, but when you take it to a car, then it's not gonna translate. And that's just a problem. Like, if you look at all these big studios, I mean, you might see a lot of equipment, which is great, but sometimes I'm looking at those studios like, well, how well do they sound? Because there's a lot of unbalance going on. You have, a lot of hardware over here. I mean, you have different types of hardware on the other side, or maybe not even hardware. Like, that's making sound bounce in different ways. Even if you have treatment on the wall, if you have multiple things, like if, say, for instance, I had a couch on this side, but I didn't have a couch on that side, but I did have these sound panels on both sides, it still would be different because of the couch. Like, those are the type of things that you really have to think of. So the calibration is going to take into consideration what's happening in your room, and then it's just going to correct the curve to where you're sitting sounds neutral. And that's pretty dope. I don't know how they do it, but I do know the difference between when I did calibrate it and when I didn't. Plus, in my room, I have a window right here, and the window's not centered. I wish this window was centered, because that would help a lot, but it's not. So this side sounds different from this side, just naked. So yeah. So I would definitely get the MTMs. They're a great speaker. I actually spend a lot of time mixing on these. I do. It sucks because I did buy some $6,000 speakers, but I don't think that is these monitors' fault. I just feel like I'm sitting too close to the speaker, and I need just a little more room for them to breathe. Because when I sit back away from them, then I can hear the detail very, very, very well. But the problem is, I'm in the center of the room when I sit back, because that's how small the room is. So those are problems. I actually thought about turning my living room into a control room, because it's a lot bigger, a lot more space. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's my place, so I can do what I want to do. And I feel like if I did that, then I feel like these focals would probably shine to their fullest potential. So anyhow, that's where I am at with this. So yeah, I definitely would recommend getting these iLoud MTMs. All right, y'all. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.